Welcome for those of you that are joining us online in this first episode of Personal Growth, where we get to share, all of us. And today we just chose to say, you know what, we just have to live life without limits. We have placed limits on ourselves for so long, and we've done that through beliefs. We've done that through, the actions that we have done, so many things that we have done that have placed a glass ceiling on us, and yet that's not the life that we want. So together with everyone, all the beautiful ladies and gentlemen here in the boardroom, together with everyone else that is watching us, we want to go on that journey and be able to talk about some of those things now. Some of you were not yet here. We had started this talk for quite some time. And part of what we talked about, I think Annette told us, I asked a question. I mean, we still have some time before the year ends. And some of us have thrown in a towel. Some of us have not yet thrown in a towel. If you're the kind that has not yet thrown in a towel, what do you believe for? And I believe she used some of the most profound words that I didn't even think someone would think about. So for someone to say a new life, someone would think that a new life takes a whole year. Takes a whole 15 years. People take too long to change their lives. By the time someone says, you know what, I believe that there's something in the pipeline, in line of business, but I believe by the end of year, I should have a new life. I should live a new life, a different life altogether. And for me, that is so, so encouraging. When we had Helen tell us that, you know what, I've gone through a series of listening to different things, even when I have things that are not working out right now in my baking business, and yet it's in the season. So you literally see that, yes, I am still in the fight. I'm still in the game. I'm still in the ring. I have not abandoned the ring. Now, some of us have abandoned the ring, and no one is actually judging, okay? Why we are here is to be able to hold each other's hand so that we can be able to show each other the possibilities that are still there in life, and that we will open our minds and our opinions will be formed, and those opinions will form the actions that are actually going to take us far ahead and ahead and ahead. Now, today, I want us to talk about something, and this is going to be a discussion. We should have the microphone very close to us because we're going to do this together, okay? Personal development, with us applying it in our personal lives, and what we think is not actually personal development, okay? And today I want us to talk about the shift in identity. Because so many of us have sought to change so many things. And this is what, I'm going to change this, I'm going to change my wardrobe, I'm going to change my diet, I'm going to change. But you realize that we have talked about change for so long. And then sometimes the change never happens. I don't know if we've realized that. You want to change something. Yes, you have the internal yearning. You want to change badly. You want to change. But one thing that I've realized, and I think I've given my story so much of how I got from the point of wanting to change my life in terms of losing weight, and I knew that change would not work it out for me. Okay, so I had to go a totally different route. And when I was thinking about it as the year was ending, I was like, you know what, maybe I should share my experience and what I actually went through to actually be able to shed off more than 35 kilos and to change my life from that person to this person. It wasn't a matter of change because I tried change. I told you, I would drive to the gym and sit in the car. And then I would watch YouTube videos of people working out, and I would feel like I'm sweating while sitting. I don't know if some of you have experienced some of these things, And then I'll be like, you know what? It's not that serious. I'll come back next time. And shoop, I would drive out. And then at some point, Tim thought about hiring an instructor. And in my head, I'm like, you know what? I think we should hire an instructor for 2 days. And then after that, I was like, but those 2 days, my goodness, my evening time is so nice, so good. And I really love being with my children. Now, again, I give those hours to an instructor. Simanyi, do this. Simanyi, do that. I'm like, you know what? First wait. And then... we go, and there is a day I was pumped up. I even put up from home, and we go to gym because Tim goes to gym apparently every day. So just imagine, changing is so hard that even when you have a change agent in your life, it's very possible you will live a totally different life from one who is living on a false track. Like omulaba mwerekera nako muli kumisinde jejimu. Naye they are working. Have you seen how Tim looks? And then I'll be like, you know what? I put on my things. You know, I even bought new gear. And then we are in the car. We go. We even talk to the instructor. And we are like, you know what? Now this is what she wants to work on. This is what she wants to do this. And the instructor is like, and you know how we pika of you even want to outdo yourself. You're like, in a month I should have shed like these kilograms. I should have. Now, remember, I want you to just look into my story and see the effort. Because action takes effort. Like the effort that I was putting in to materialize or manifest this change, okay? So when someone tells you to change something, what your brain processes at that point is the effort that you have to put in order to change anything. And remember, I usually tell us that our brains do not like effort and they don't like work. So what they do is they shut down on you, because then we don't want to do any hard thing. If we are supposed to, the epitome of this or the peak of this is having a good toned body. And what it's going to take us to, from where we are, from 120 kilos that I had after giving birth, from 120 kilos to drop those kilograms to the 85 kilograms that you actually want to achieve, that is an uphill task, okay? So if I want to change that, that's going to take a lot of effort. So I will go through the effort. I will bargain with my brain before even the body gets to the gym. I'll be like, now it has to be every day. Now I have to eat to change my diet. Now I have to, you know, it's so complicated. And then for some of us ladies, now I'm telling you what I went through. I would even think about my hairstyle. I'll be like, now, do I want to be in salon every day? Like, because I went and I had to sweat, and then I'm like, maybe should I do wigs? And then, like, I am bargaining with all these are pain points to me. So I realized that change is just not going to cut it out for me, okay? It's just not going to cut it out for me. And so now I had to look for a different way. What do I really, really want, okay? And I had to go via the identity shift, okay? Now I had to envision myself, and I want us to start right there, because so many things that I want us to talk about, but we'll be able to go into them one by one, okay? Hopefully, I don't want us to be able to skip anything that is going to be very important, okay? But one of the things that I talked that I really, one of the shifts that I made was success is not just about commitment. I think you've heard me talk about success taking commitment to be successful, okay? And now I got another angle through my journey that it takes recommitment in order for you to get to your goal, or to get to the success or significance that you want. Because, like, it's not a linear line. That everything in between is going to be properly programmed, and you're going to do it consistently, and everything is going to go as you planned. It's going to be a zigzag journey. Even when you take the path of identity, shifting your identity, it's going to be a zigzag journey. Like, it's just going to, today, the journey is good. You tick, you've eaten well, you've worked out, you've taken your water, you've not, I used to choke myself on baggy things. I know some of you have seen. Like, I would buy oversized things. Why? Because I'm trying to cover up something. So now, the other days you wake up and you just feel like maybe this is just too much, or I even feel bloated, or I even feel like I am too big today. And then all of a sudden that day dies. And the moment you have at the beginning of the day, just know that your eating is going to change. You're going to eat anything that you come across. You're going to, like, you're just not going to limit yourself. Why? Because you started on a bad note, and then you count it off. How many of us have ever promised ourselves that, you know what, I will fast, let Monday come. Like, it's Tuesday today, and then you're like, you know what, I'll fast Monday, new week. Like, we like starting with new things. And then you're like, the month is about to start. I will start with a new month. Maybe you want to fast, or you want to pray, or there's a way we procrastinate into new weeks and into. But who tells you that you have to wait until new week? Why? Because it's a change, and change is painful. Okay? Now, with identity shift, I want us to look at it this way, that you have a dream, okay? You have a dream. And your goal is to get to that dream. Now, I want you to put down whatever dream it is that you want. I want you to write it down. Your goal is to get to that dream. Now, whenever we want to change, this is what we do. We suppress our dreams because we are bargaining with ourselves. We suppress our dreams. Then we're like, we start thinking, but for me, I come from here. For me, this is the level of education. For me, this is the kind of resources I have. This is the kind of family that I came from. Remember, we're talking about change and identity shift and saying that you shifting your identity is a much better option. But I want to give you the background of how I even got to that, to say, you know what? I need to be able to go back to my core beliefs. I need to be able to go back to my habits. I need to go back to the most important things, not just the action. For those of you that have followed for some time, there is a series that I ran, I think should have been last week, but one. And I say that change does not mean actual change. Because when you say, I want to change, and then you're changing the dressing, then you're changing the high heels, then you're changing your wigs, then you're changing, the internal change has to happen before the outside change happens. Otherwise, if you change the outside and the internal, or your internal structure is not changed, then you are going to be so frustrated because you're not in alignment, okay? You want something else, but your wig changed, but the wisdom is still the same. Your wig changed, your level of knowledge is still the same. Your wig changed, your level of recommitment and commitment is still the same, okay? And then I want you to, all right, so when we talk about your dreams, okay? You have a dream, okay? And then we all have a starting point where we are right now, okay? Where we are right now, let's say that is 1.0. Let's go to that language, that technical language, because usually when they say 2.0, they usually mean the best version or the highest version of that particular thing, whatever it is. You can search for it and see. 2.0 is usually the best version, the newest version, the top version of anything, okay? So realize we want to be the best versions, okay? Whatever dream it is, your dream could be to be a coach, okay? Your dream could be to be a business person, tycoon in Kampala, whatever it is, the best athlete, whatever it is, you have a dream. But remember, I said, do not suppress your dream. Because when you suppress your dream, then you also operate on a low vibration to achieve the lower version of those dreams. It's like manifestation. You want to manifest something, I will not give in terms of cars because some of you will say I'm abusing some cars. All cars are cars. But you realize that you can want, no, let me just say men. Yeah, because we can't manufacture men. You're there, you want this kind of, a stature of a certain kind of man, okay? Whether the height, whether dark, or you want a different race altogether, whether like the muscles, some people don't want lean men, some, as in whatever it is. And then time comes when you feel like, that dream is far-fetched. I don't think I am cut out for that. I don't think I am good enough for that. I don't think I deserve that or even qualify for that. Someone called me last week, and told me, anyone that comes, anyone, if you get any kind of man that wants to get married, ebidala tujja birabira eyo. Do you see someone downsizing their dream? Do you see someone at that point they feel, I have this need and I want it to be fulfilled. I don't mind how it's fulfilled. So you want to satisfy the now, and the later is going to suffer. That is how you get into marriage and you look at someone and like seriously, like because someone becomes boring. So you look at someone and you're like, when I didn't know Zachi. Remember that the what do we call it? The desperation now has gone. Because after you type that, the desperation, when you're desperate for something, everything looks like it's glittering. So whether you get too old, whether you get just there, okay? Because you're desperate, you feel like, what, any man is as good as a man, okay? I will go with that one. After you tie the knot, like this. This is what happens. The desperation flies away and your eyes begin to open. The scales fall off your eyes. And now you look at him and that mouth. You look at him, those beards. You look at him like you start everything. Why you say, yo. But the thing is, that is not what you wanted. That is not what you wanted. So that is the same with us downplaying and downsizing our dreams. We begin with the highest dreams and we're like, this is possible. And then when it doesn't happen in time, then we bargain on our dreams. And then if it doesn't happen, we still bargain on our dreams until we are on a low vibration. Yes, you have achieved the things that you wanted to achieve because you bargained on your dreams, but again, you are not happy at the end of the day. Why? Because you downsized your dreams, okay? So let's take, this is you right now, okay? And this is where you want to be. You realize that there's so many things that must be happening in this due course in order for you to get to where you want to get, okay? And some of these things, let me say the examples of those that want to be coaches. If you just can, randomly, if you can give me, what will be one of those things that will get you, because now you have to visualize this person. Let's first visualize this person. I want you to think about yourself in this state. Who is this person? Okay? What is she doing? What has she achieved? I want you to enter into that mind frame, okay? Like, for example, you can say, if you're single, you can say, I am married to the man of my dreams, and you have the children, and you have the business of your dreams, whether you're a coach, you have booked clients, and your months are booked, you're speaking on big stages in the world, and you have courses, people are buying those courses, and your spiritual life is good, as in everything that you want, you are thinking about here, that when I arrive here, this is the kind of life that I will have, okay? In order to get to that life, as a coach, whichever dream that you want, what must happen here in order for you to get there? I need your contribution. Yes, please. Practicing, okay? So, that means you have practice, okay? Commitment. We talked about commitment, okay? So we'll write some of these things. Commitment. Anything else? Yes. Research. Yes. Let's go. Self-discovery. Okay. Self-discovery. Anyone else? You have to know your target clients, okay? You have to know? Discipline, okay? Yeah. Now, you realize that, yes, we have all these things, okay? But when it comes to your dream, it has particular things. Because some of these things will apply to so many dreams. But here you have particular things. I will give you an example. For example, as a coach, content creation is a non-negotiable. Content creation is a non-negotiable. That if you really want to get to the desired end, that you must be able to produce content, because how else are people going to know that you're a coach if they don't see your content? Does that make sense? Okay, let's go to after content creation. Now you have the social media platforms, and you have to go to a place of practice. We've talked about practice, but again, you have to be able to plug into or have websites, create courses, okay? Create courses, have websites, have portals. People know that, you know what, I can go to so-and-so's domain and be able to get full information about them, okay? And then you have to go to the automation system. And then you have to create products as a coach. So you realize that it's quite a journey for you to be able to actually get there. So social media, content, social media, you have to create followers. Who are you going to coach if you don't have followers, okay? The only way you're going to give value to people is by having people follow you. So that means social media, you have content, okay? and you have your automation systems, you know how to monetize your products, that you've created courses, you have written books, okay? You have your merchandise, you have automated that now. People don't have to necessarily call you in order to sign up for the courses. I think you've seen people who have monetized their courses and they have automated, okay? I know to some of you that are not really taking that dream of coaching, this will come outside of that, okay? And before you know it, you're invited for interviews. Before you know it, you're on TVs. Before you know it, you're on big stages. Before you know it, you are making money doing what you love. And that is the dream that you wanted. That, okay, I can be a married woman, I can have children, I can still go for vacations. I mean, I have money, not at least, but I have enough money. The dream that you have for yourself. But you realize in order to get to that dream, there are things that you must be able to do. A soccer player, if the dream is to be a soccer player, still you have to go through practice. You have to go through even playing in smaller fields. People have to see you. People have to know you. Okay? That means you have to, I think it was Messi that used to pay to even just get a field, to get to the pitch, to play. And so that commitment and recommitment, and so many times he will be sent away. He'll be like, you know what, we're not going to open the field for you. And sometimes he will stay behind when everyone has gone. He would, go and pick all the balls. But what? Because between where he was and where he wanted, there were things that he had to do. Now, so many of us, this is what we envision. We have a dream. We don't know where we are. We have not taken full audit about where we are and the habits that have kept us here. If I ask you where you are right now, what has kept you where you are? What would you tell me? Because there's a reason as to why. You long to be somewhere else, but there's a reason as to why you are where you are. Let's go. We have a microphone. A little more minutes of sleep. And your dream, you can kiss away your dream. A little moments of. My goodness, if you visited other countries and the speed at which they do things, when you come back, that is why they will even tell you on the streets of Kenya, they find someone staggering around, they just know, huyu anatoka Uganda, huyu ni Mganda. Like seriously, the way you eat, ye kulopa. As in, by the time you ask for things, man, you start asking for soup, and then you start washing your hand, and then you start eating ngabwewe mola, bamanyirawo ono mugwida. Now, some of us, I bet there are some of us who have also attained a certain speed. Not what we really want, but have attained a certain speed. Like, what's wrong with them? Okay? So you see, a little more sleep. Let's go. Another. What has maintained you here? Because there is a reason as to why we are still here. Many of the things remain in the head. So we have a full limbo of ideas that never see daylight. No one ever hears about them. Why is it that no one ever hears about those ideas? Because you fear to be looked at as a foolish person or a person who dreams insanely. Sometimes we edit. Have you ever come to tell someone, some of us have even lied about the dreams that we dreamt. Like no more dreams of sleeping, you dream something, you come and edit your dream while you're telling it to another person. It has happened, okay? Now, how much more for your bigger dreams, like Joseph? When Joseph dreamt and all his parents and all, he just went ahead and told them, I dreamt, I dreamt when all of you, my firewood was standing like this and all of yours was bowing down. And so because people have fear of what will come and what people will say, people will this stupid boy, Biolo was what you're thinking. You get it? So fear cripples us in this state. That even when we know what to do, we don't do it. How many of us can agree with me that you know what to do, but you're just not doing it? Thank you. You know what to do, but you're just not. Why aren't you doing it? Fear, procrastination. Fear of standing out. And let me tell you, that is a demon. Yeah, that is a demon. I've told people so many times, I don't know how God created me, but there is something that is, I don't know whether it's inbuilt in some people and it's not in some people. I don't know whether some of us develop that muscle. I believe on this earth there is nothing I can't do. For as long as you tell me to do it, I believe, like my belief system in my ability. Now, I don't know where that comes from. I know that stems from childhood, who brought you up, what they spoke into your life, you know, the things that you encountered. But let me tell you, some of us have encountered worst of the things that if we just didn't want to believe, like, we would have been exonerated. You know, when someone exonerates you, gaman kale mutufu yakulira mu bwavu bambi ensonga lwaki ali bwatyo. Like anyone yandinkwatiddwa ekisa nti bambi je yakulira, it was a lot of luck, it was a lot of dysfunctional family, it was a lot of, you know, like those pity parties and victimizations that people do on themselves. I have never had that in my life. My brain has been wired to only believe one direction. Everything is figure-outable, everything is doable, and everything is achievable. So for as long as I can be able to get kuchiunyirizako oba nenchiraba, what I need is the exposure. Otherwise, if you tell me right now kukuba I'm a blocker, I know I can do it. Yeah. If you tell me nti chichi, maybe simatoi, and maybe I don't know how to go down and what, but I will start. You get it? Why I believe that there is nothing, as in, even if I didn't have anything, I would not fail to start anywhere. Like, I believe everything where I am is actually doable. Okay? Without any kind of shame, without any kind of kwesasira. One thing Chesikola is kwesasira. For those of you that have followed me, I work until the last day of my pregnancy. Even when the doctor tells me bed rest, I'm like, you know what? Yes, on the book. But when we go back home, I do otherwise. Not because of anything, but I believe that, you know what? If my mind is in the right place about something, I will go at anything. Okay? So you realize that I want you to be able to connect the dots. And where do you want to target? Okay? Because again, those people are the ones that are going to spread the word that you actually exist. So while you do your research, don't do research above people's heads. Now, we are breaking down what she wants as a coach. Don't do research above people's heads. Actually, when you go, Nogamba, okay, all the vlogs that I have seen, all the podcasts I've seen around what do people consume the most here in our country. And then you're like, now, let me get in that angle. Because some of us have to have hooks in order for you to introduce what you want to introduce. You're not going to introduce, okay, yes, you want children. But when you come outrightly and say children, maybe that's going to take 5 years for you to be able to break even. But when you come and talk about your own life and what you have gone through, and you're like, you know what, how did you get a child? Apparently, maybe you're in a relationship. Okay? So that means you know one or two things about relationships. So that means you give a hook, what you call a bait, as you introduce what your real niche is. Okay? So now you have content, you have to create followers. Create people that like what you're doing. Okay? And then go ahead and monetize. Okay? Call in people and tell them, you know, make posters. Call them and tell them, this is a paid for program. Okay, come around and do this. So you realize that there are so many things that you can do. Start speaking, go to engagements, okay? Request for people and tell them, if you have anything, I'm here. You want an MC, you want me to come and talk to your children, go to school, do something. You realize that between here and there are a ton of things that you must be able to do. And this process takes time. It doesn't take a snap of a finger. And then I want to tell you the other thing. It's possible there are so many people who are on social media who are going to tell you, start from zero and become your best version of yourself. Or start from zero and earn, how many figures do they usually say? Which don't even apply. No, they don't apply in our, because 6 figures is less than 1 million in our, you get it. So you must be able to, when they say, you know, start from zero, let me just give an example, to 30 millions in a month, to making 30 millions in a month, in 6 months. That is a lie and it is a trap. Why? Because it's possible that that person has had a life prior to this. I will shade this area. Maybe they have had 5 years researching, doing trial and error, speaking at small multitudes, maybe speaking at their church. They have had all this, and now they have broken even in the past 1 year, and now they are telling you that in 1 year, I can make you go from 0 to earning 30 millions in a month. Do you see where some frustrations come from? Because then when you take that formula and it's not working, they will never tell you that, you know what, Nedda, for me to get to where I am, it has been 1 year plus the 5 years. That is 6 years. So that means we have a lot of people lying about how fast they have gotten rich. But they have recommitted over and over again. They have worked at it over and over again. They have showed up over and over again. So if someone is promising you results in 3 months, that means it's 3 months past 10 years of things that did not work. But they were showing up every day. That is where you should cut yourself some slack. And I'm not saying that be weak and be lazy. Cut yourself some slack and say, you know what? Am I growing? Yes. Am I putting one foot in front of the other? Yes. Am I mapping out my journey and the dreams that I want to achieve? Yes. That means I'm on the trajectory of growth. Otherwise, you can be discouraged and you're like, all these people are giving testimonies, all these people are doing all these things, and you're like, Sheikh, I will never make it in life. I don't want you to ever have that kind of belief that I will never make it in life. I only want you to have a belief that everything is figure-outable and everything is doable, okay? We would have gone to another person, but we would never finish. But I'm going to make sure that I circle back so that we can talk about other areas. It could be business. It could be something that you want to do or a dream that you want to get to, okay? So stop comparing yourself to anyone. You're comparing yourself to the already made product, okay? To the already made product. And let me tell you, sometimes these things lie that yes, you can get hooked up and you run very fast, but let me tell you, because there is no foundation, when you come crumbling down, you will fall on your feet. I mean, you will fall on your legs and you will break yourself. So that means the building has to be systematic. So don't compare yourself to anyone. It is a trap. Comparison is a trap, okay? And then I want you to operate with a level of certainty. With a level of certainty. That has helped me so much. That, you know what, I can do this too. To the extent when I take you back to my weight loss journey, I think my husband has, when you have certainty in your heart, even the people around you become certain about what you can do. I think Tim has said it to me so many times when I stepped on that weighing scale and I was 120, and he told me that, you know what, in no time you will have shed that weight. But what makes you believe? I was like, you have done it before, and I know that you can do it. Like, he had a lot of certainty. Now this time I was the one with a bit wavering certainty, because then I'm like, you know what, I want it fast, and he's like, take your time. Who is rushing you? You get it? Who is rushing you? No one is rushing you. Take your time. But I know if you put your mind, and he would even tell it to other people, if she puts her mind to something, that thing is going to be done. And before I know it, sometime I'm weighing myself. You know how you can even hate weighing scales? And I'm weighing myself and I'm like, I've lost 25 kilograms. And I don't know, as in, I've not been so keen to follow so closely. Why? Because I was operating with a level of certainty. Okay? It can be about my work. It can be about my growth. It can be about my... I tell people I went through my single life without any kind of... Shirabika, I am doomed. Sheikh, I will never get married. And even when I clocked 30, I clocked 31, I clocked 32, like it never dawned on me that it is late for me. Because I knew with all certainty that I will get married. I will have a family. As in, for me, it was not an issue of will it happen or it won't happen. Now, you see, for most of the times when we ask ourselves those deep questions of will it happen or it will not happen, that is where the compromise comes in. That is where the panicking comes in. That is where the anxiety comes in. That is where the depression comes in. And then we take matters into our own hands and we start kupala palanya. Okay? And things do not work. But the moment you operate at a certain level of certainty, and you're like, you know what? As in, eventually, this will happen. Okay? Eventually, it will happen. It might not happen today, but it will happen. And then that is where you put the lady that told me, any man that comes, when they came to me the first time, I told them that, you know what, that is a burden too big for you to carry and hope that you're going to accomplish anything in life. The moment you have it in your mind, I am single, I am dead, I am growing old, and no one is coming to me, your work performance goes low. Your dreams are crumbled, like it's shattered. Your insecurities arise. You even start getting wrinkles. Like seriously, because it's in your brain. You start getting wrinkles. You start putting on clothes and they don't look nice on you. Why? Because that is who you see yourself. That is the version that you see. And that is what you're painting to all of us. Your insecurities. So I told her that, you know what? Get all these things, put them aside. I even told her, shared my part of my story, put them aside. Mind about your growth. Go for growth, okay? Commit, recommit, emphasize. What are your dreams? Run in the direction of your dreams. Because let me tell you, marriage is not everything. Because you will get married and you'll still need money. You will get married and you still need an identity, a separate identity from your husband. You're not going to be swallowed up in your husband's identity. Your life is not going to revolve around a man, okay? Or it's not going to revolve, for the men, it's not going to revolve around a woman. So you might as well carve out your own identity, okay? Who am I? What do I want? What do I love? What are my dreams, okay? Believe in them. Toil for them. Chase after them. When a man comes or when a woman comes, it will be an added advantage. And let me tell you, they will meet you while you are moving, and they will also gear up in the same kind of journey that you are running towards. Otherwise, when you meet someone side, you will never even stand still. But when you meet another person who is also on a personal growth journey, it will be so hard, it's so easy for you to move in the same direction. Okay? So I need you to know that. Now, in this arena, I want us to talk about another thing that I faced in my own life, that there are so many times that you will get something that I will call a detour, okay? Now, detours happen that sometimes you will grow in line of the dream that you want, and sometime you will get to a place, and maybe this, have you ever researched something so much that it made you branch off to another kind of, let me just give an example. She wanted to be a coach. It's possible you started with being a relationship coach or single mothers or something like that. And as you go, as you talk about children, you realize that there is a deeper love for dealing with children and teenagers that I have that I did not start with. That now means this detour, you must be able to map out this journey again. Okay? And those happen to all of us. You start a business as dealing in hair, and all of a sudden you find yourself that actually people want more cosmetics than hair. And then all of a sudden you have to rethink your plan. And you're like, you know what? Yes, I will have some hair, but I think I will put more cosmetics. It can be a boutique, okay? It can be, you realize that we make these detours so many times because we have, some of us because we've hit a snag, and some of us, because we have a certain new knowledge and a new exposure, or level of exposure, that now we know that this works better for us. That does not mean that we have gone off the journey. We still want to come back to this. We still want to come back to this place. But let me tell you, there is an opposite of that. There is you going and grooming yourself, okay? Going, and then you have setbacks. Okay? Are we following? When you have setbacks, have you ever seen people, you start on a journey, and by the way, this happens in coaching, this happens in business, this happens in every arena of life. It even happens in relationships. You start, everything has been going on well, you wake up one day and you are totally discouraged about whatever it is that you're pursuing. Okay? And You feel like you can't lift even one finger to do anything. You feel like you are tired. You feel like you throw in the towel. If you're a soccer player, you just wake up one day and you stop showing up in the field. You stop even, when you look at the ball, you even feel disgusted. If you're a business person, even opening your business is a problem. So many things happen. Why? Because maybe things are not working the way you hoped they would work. And so instead of the detour, a person goes ahead and has a setback. Now, when this person has a setback will take you to another setback and to another setback. It becomes like a ripple effect of setbacks. Now, this person has a chance to redeem themselves, because this person can stand still and say, you know what, wait a minute. If this door was locked, okay, another window could open up, or it's possible that there's something else I must do, or I have to rekindle the love for this particular thing. So if I was doing boutique, it's possible that I will want to follow people that are doing the same things and see. Because do you know that it can be contagious? When you see other people practicing what you want, all of a sudden, you're like, why did I abandon it so quickly? I think I can still do this. So before you know it, you're restarting the dreaming again, okay? And now you're restarting better strategies, better than what you had already placed in place. So that means that you have time to turn your setbacks into comebacks, to dream again. Okay? I really wanted us to have this before we even go any further, because these things happen to our lives and to our dreams. Okay? Where you have a beautiful dream, but you've gotten to a moment and you need to take a detour, but there are some of us, we crammed that a dream must be linear, that I move from here to there. So now, you don't like it, but you're still in it. It's not paying, it's not bringing returns, but you're still in it. They told you be consistent. So you're even being consistent in a wrong thing. You're being committed in a wrong thing. And it's just not working out. So that means that we have to have the intelligence and the wisdom to know when the detour must happen. To know when we are discouraged and when we are having a setback, to know how to relaunch and dream again. Okay? Are we getting this? I know this time of the year is quite tricky for so many people. And that is why I really felt the need to have this discussion with all of us, so that at least we will not just throw in a towel so quickly about our lives. We will know that we can recommit to our dreams, okay? We can take the detours, and if we have setbacks, that is not the end of life. Some of us, when we get the setbacks, we think that that is the end of life, okay? Now, in order to change, you remember the patterns that I talked about. In order for me to be able to lose, I want us to just go through that, because our dreams are achieved differently, okay? And we all have different dreams. But my example should set a tone for all of us. I'm still going to write. This is not so clear. Oh, actually, 5. Okay, let's just work with that, okay? And I want us to draw 5 circles within themselves. 5 circles within themselves. Remember, we want to create the best version of ourselves. The best version of ourselves is a 2-0, and then the best version of ourselves is one that has already achieved the dreams that we want to achieve. But we said we're not just going to skip and run into them. So let's go through this very quickly, because after that it's going to be totally interaction for us, okay? So in the outer circle, if you've drawn 5 circles, I'm not going to illustrate because that's going to take quite some time if I do both. In the outer circle, I want you to place actions. That is where most of us are playing, actions, okay? And then the circle next to it, remember the circles are within themselves, okay? The outer one is the 5th one, and that is action. And the next one, your emotions. The next one after that is your beliefs. The next one is your stories, the stories that you tell them yourself. And then what you have is an identity inside. Okay? The smallest is your identity. Now, just like I said that change is hard, when it comes to shifting your identity, you realize that most people work from outside inside. They start with the actions. They start from changing their actions. They're like, you know what? I will not go to that job anymore. Maybe I will quit this relationship. Maybe I will start waking up early. Maybe I will go to gym. Maybe I will. We have actions that we want to start on. But these actions are going to be out of alignment. Why? Because we have different belief systems. Remember, I told you, for me, it has not been a problem, because whenever I tell my mind to believe something, that is what my mind tells me, because I've practiced it for a very long time. So if I tell my mind that we are going to lose weight, we are actually going to lose weight. That means my actions are not going to be sabotaged by my beliefs. My actions are not going to be sabotaged by my emotions. Because when I'm emotional, then I'm going into emotional eating. Okay? What are the stories I'm telling myself? You know what? I don't think this is possible. I don't think I've seen so many people go on those diets. I've seen people go to gym. But they're not losing weight. All that is building in my mind. So I'm creating beliefs. I'm creating emotions around it. And then I want to act differently from everything else. Do you see how I'm self-sabotaging? So every person that self-sabotages wants to dwell on the action that, you know what, I want to look good. And then you go buy new clothes. But when you buy the new clothes, because your belief system, because your emotions are not changed inside of you, when you look at the mirror, all you're seeing is ugly. All you're seeing is tonyumie. All you're seeing is, so what did you change exactly? Nothing. You changed nothing. So you realize that when you work from inside out and you're like, my identity, now I want to be this person. When I work from being this person backwards and I'm like, okay, what must I do? That means you are going to start, counteracting your beliefs. When a belief comes in and the belief is not good, okay? You're going to say, you know what? I don't have to be 100%, but at least I am trying, and that counts for something. You know, pep talk. You're talking to yourself. That means it's internal. That when the belief came and you're like, you know what? That last time you lost weight because you had one child, or maybe because you had 2 children, but right now you have 3 children. Like, it has just gone out of hand. You know that belief system? That is where you will find women that have given up on their looks. And then they will be like, let me tell you, there are those that have given birth to 9 or 10 children and they look hot. So think again. Please stop over pampering your excuses and giving them a lot of meaning. Because that is what we are. We do, most times. And you're like, I can eat, I can, you know. So those are belief systems. So if you say, I can eat, I can go anywhere I want, let me tell you, you're never going to wake up to desire for more than what you have. Or even when you desire for it, you will never do what it takes to get more. Why? Because your mind is already self-sabotaging. Okay? And while we say bye to the people that are online, people that are following us, for us, we are still going on, because I really feel like there are certain images that must shift, internal images that must shift to align with who we want to be and where we want to get in life. And if we don't do that, we're going to read so much. We're going to sign up for so many courses. We are going to get into so many relationships. We're going to fight in our marriages. We're going to fight with our children. Like, we're going to self-sabotage on every level of our lives. Why? Because our internal systems are broken. But what we want is to fix the face, because everyone sees the face. And those are the actions. So you can fix your hair all you want. Yeah. You can buy all the new trending you want. But for as long as you have battles inside of you and things that are not aligned, the beliefs that, you know, you keep talking. Why? You know what to do. You know the right thing to do, but you keep doing the wrong thing. Why is it? If it was as straight as you know the right thing and you do the right thing, you know that you have to cut down on your meals, or you have to avoid chocolates, avoid ice cream altogether. Avoid cake. Cake is your greatest temptation. But For whatever reasons, when it comes, you're like, we'll start tomorrow. And then all of a sudden you get excited, but the moment I started seeing myself as the person that I wanted to be, I knew that there was no compromise for me. Like, I got aligned that food is no longer my problem. Like, I have control over food, like totally. I have control over food. That the best days I am the happiest are the days that I have not eaten. Yeah, Tim will tell you. Eating is a problem. Like, I have to talk myself into eating and give myself so many explanations as to why I should have breakfast, for example. As to why I should have lunch. Otherwise, most times I will eat because he's eating. And because he can't eat alone. I can't let him eat alone. But on my normal good days, like, food is not my problem. Have I ever been there and told you, let's go eat? Like, it has never been my issue. Okay? Once I aligned with the person that I want to be in my internal person, so my body stopped fighting. My mouth stopped fighting because I know what I want. I made that shift and now I worked backwards. That now the stories that I tell myself is, I am that good. The clothes that I started buying, totally different. Okay? I stopped reasoning the belief systems. I believe better. And I told you that I've never had an issue with my belief systems. So that was so quick to come back into line. When it comes to my emotions, like, I had to beat them into line. But why am I telling you this? Is actions on top. Because we are chasing after so many things. We are running after so many things. But if we are not coupled with the inside beliefs, the reason as to why you believe I should start coaching in December is because you believe in yourself. Like, that is what you are envisioning, because you think that is why, exposure is so interesting. The moment you expose yourself, you can even hate the house you built. Like, yeah, look at the bathroom I built. I deserve a better bathroom. Before you know it, you're thinking, let me put a tenant in this house. Let me build another house. Why? Because you have been exposed to something that is greater. If it is free, why don't we expose ourselves? Why don't we expose? And these days, it's so easy to expose yourself. Go to Instagram and start seeing glamorous houses. And how influencers, and then you will see a whole kitchen and you'll be like, yeah, chigenda mass. So you'll see a bathroom and you're like, for me, even if they just gave me that bathroom alone minus everything else in the house, that bathroom will be enough. You see someone putting on, you see their clothes. Have you seen people's closets on Instagram? Have you seen people's closets? And then some of us, we have heard the word walk-in closets, but let me tell you, sight mbinyo, your sight, it can limit you. That even when you see a chintu echirungi, your mind suffocates you and it suppresses. It's like, let me tell you, everything I can see with my eyes, that belongs to me as well. Everything I see with my eyes belongs to. And let me tell you, there is something special about belief. There is something special when you believe. Everything that I have believed for in my life, I have seen come to pass. Everything I have believed for in my life. Even when the devil tries to bring a duplicate, and places that duplicate somewhere on your path, I can smell a duplicate from afar. Even when I am settling, I know I am actually. Do you know that we settle knowing that we are settling? You settle for a duplicate knowing that you're settling for a duplicate. But your dream is something totally different. So now when you believe, even when the duplicate comes and it looks like in that moment it can serve the purpose, let me tell you, your belief will convict you to jump over the duplicate. You'll be like, no, this is not my level. Remember, I'm still talking about dreams. Why? Why is it that some of us dream lesser dreams? I could have been the kind who dreams less dreams. Where I come from, Busisira, both sides. My mother, my father, Busisira. No house. What do you nyumba? Like, seriously. The kind of life I have lived, I have not seen anywhere in my family. Not in my. To the extent when we were growing up, I used to tell my father that, now that house, I used to see gated houses. And I'll be like, now that house, do you think with 3 millions we can build that house? Remember I told you my father had a blueprint, and he would show us that blueprint every moon. Ndoza ngomwezi weguvayo ngaleta blueprint. Ngatugamba kino kyetsenge kyabagenyi, kino kyekyabana, kino kyekya, master bedroom. I knew master bedroom, this is a corridor, but I had never seen in my life, because all our lives we stayed in 2-bedroomed houses or a room where you had to share it with goats and hens. Yes. Where there was a curtain in between, and the cupboard was a big basin that had plates and cups, and you put it under the bed. That is the life that I grew up in. But why is it that I saw different and I wanted different? Okay? I want to charge us today that there is no limit to the things God can put in our hands. There is no limit to the versions that God can grow us into. We are the only ones that limit ourselves. Okay? So if we have cited one site, something else about people's words about our lives, we have to be very careful. When someone tells you, and especially people in authority, koja, senga, what, when they say certain things, there is a way we rotate back to those words subconsciously, without knowing. We're like, I will never amount to anything. So words is another. What else? I want us to think together. Wise. Laziness. As in, you have been exposed. Okay? You know that big houses, you know the kind of cars, you know the kind of life, the kind of impact, the kind of business that you can actually have, because other people have it and they have the same blood. They are not different from you, okay? And by the way, watch this. Some people who we are even better than are moving in the kinds of life that we want to move into. Like, when you look, clearly I am better. No, as in, let me tell you, God created us and we are special judges in this world. We judge people and we put them in a certain basket. So you look at people and you're like, nange mwesingira. Nenga gwe singira. A million miles ahead. And then, nolioko tandika. You know how we give ourselves consolation? You know? Anti kakati ye kale teyali mulungi nnyo teyalina concentrating ku bingi nnyo yalina kale concentrating ku bitabo. Let me tell you, if you don't hit your dreams, you will have all sorts of explanations. Have you ever seen people that explain as to why they've not achieved certain things? Someone can even explain, najjalo kwamba, let us see me nkuteremu namba yange. Bambi, sorry, it's okay. Lelo kale, nkute katochi. Omanyi esimu yange najitutawa makanika. Nenga katochi jalina. Oshitegera, nenga ino jogere yake bigambo bingi nnyo. Because achimanyi, some of us know that people expect us to be somewhere else, and yet we are somewhere else. Now, we must make up for the difference. We must reconcile by saying so many things. Abantu webewolere engoye, abantu webaseeking to rearrange themselves on top wano. Bwenakola enjala ennungi, then bajja kumanya ndi wakabi. Naye let me tell you, tujja kulaba. Enjala ennungi ojja ziraba naye nga ziri ku mutima ogukoleza eki? Ogutakula. You know, like your identity will be your identity. Something will give away, okay? But I don't want to live a life where I have to explain about myself.